That was 1960. I need you to go back there to prevent the assassination of John F. Kennedy.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining me today on a Perezpective review of 11/22/63, the Hulu original series based on the novel by Stephen King of the same name. Now, I myself have read the book itself, and I love it, and I'm very interested on to see how this adaptation comes along, especially since not all adaptations that come from Stephen King's work are the very best. It's very hard for them to translate to movies or to TV. But let's go ahead and get into the actual TV show, and I just wanted to read the description, the synopsis of the show itself that I found online. It goes as: high school teacher Jake Eppings travels back in time to prevent the assassination of President John F. Kennedy, but his mission is threatened by Lee Harvey Oswald, falling in love and the past itself, which does not want to be changed and shouldn't be changed. Before I get into everything else, I want to just go ahead and say I did like the show. There's a couple things that I didn't like or don't like yet. Maybe is the best thing to say, but I'll go ahead and just talk about the things I liked. I like the way that it does start with Harry telling the story that we actually read in bits and pieces in the book throughout the first part of the book. It's awesome. I really preferred the way the book has it because you can actually see the whole thing. It's broken up here. There's a piece that's not shown in the episode that is shown later on, which is kind of confusing as far as when Harry said that, but it might also be remembering what he read from the paper that Harry turned in. I really like the story of Harry in the book. It really does. I think it really does get you to the point where why Jake is gonna stay in the past to do some changing, as we see at the end of the episode. Something else that I like the set. I really do like the set, the old school, the 1960s set that where he comes out. I do like the way time as Al says, pushes back on the changes that is going to happen, or it perceives is going to happen because of what Jake being in the past. We see that early on when he gets into Dallas, he actually tries to call his dad, and the phone connection does not work properly. It does not go through properly, statically. And then when he tries to go back to the phone, a car actually crashes into it, and killing the passenger or the driver that the car had. And one thing I did also like is the constant references that he keeps hearing, that you shouldn't be here. He hears it several times, not only by the yellow card man, but by the firefighter, the lady that is in the car accident, just several different people in the past who just continuously tells him you shouldn't be here. Not necessarily telling him he shouldn't be here back in time, but maybe in a certain area where he's at. And but it also, of course, it's going back to he shouldn't be in the past. I like the way when he's in the restaurant where he's starting to follow somebody around in the past, and the chandelier falls, the fire starts, same fire that actually burned Al, who shows his burn on his arm later on. Yeah, I really do like that. I feel like it's very Final Destination like, and if it doesn't stop him here, it doesn't stop him. It's gonna try to get him another way. I do like it amped up from what the way the book presents it. In the book, it presents it more like, you're gonna go this way, you're gonna get a flat tire, this is gonna happen, you're going out of gas or something, Here it's more drastic. It's amped up to the point where the past is trying to stop him by pretty much almost killing him from doing whatever he wants to do. Okay, so one thing I didn't like is Jake's demeanor or the way he acts in classroom. He doesn't seem like a teacher who really wants to be there. I know he feels probably disillusioned, or I'm not sure what the word would be, because of the way or the attitude of his kids in class. And I mean, they show him with a videotape in classroom, which, I mean, for me myself, when I remember seeing a teacher with a video, it's usually a substitute teacher. It is not really a teacher who is giving their best, and I didn't really feel like he was giving his best to his students at the time. Whereas in the book, I feel like he really, really does want to get through to these people. He wants to make a difference to these kids, and he's more dissatisfied with the lack of creativity, the lack of ability to write by his students rather than the apathy. I guess it also, for the show, it is changed because it also helps give him a reason to want to do something. Like Al says later on, he tells him that he hasn't done anything, that he really isn't doing anything, and that's one of the reasons why he should go into the past and try to save JFK. Another thing I didn't like was the relationship that we are shown between Jake and Al. In the book, I feel like they're really, really close together, even though it might not be friends that go out, even get together to drink a beer or whatever. In the show, it really felt more antagonistic between each other. They're like busting each other's chops. It didn't give me the closeness that I feel from the book. The time that Al decides to go back in time, where he spends 2 years back in the 1960s, it's kind of weird when he decides to do it, because Jake's in the diner and he is about to sign his papers for divorce, and Al decides to go back in time, and he stays for 2 years. I know it's only gonna be 2 minutes in the present time, but I just feel like it's a very, very awkward or weird time to decide to go back in time. I would think that he would do that before work or before he opens a diner or after he opens a diner, where he would go back and get the meat for his fat burger, or his cat burger as they call it in the book. I just don't. It just seems weird as to why he chose that moment to go back in time with somebody in the diner. Of course, he comes back from the past, and he's already has cancer. He's already sick. He's about to die pretty much. And Jake does show that he's worried about him. So I mean, I can't say that they're not friends. I can't say that they're total strangers or anything like that. It's obvious that Jake does go to the diner quite often, enough to have some sort of relationship with him, because Al does show some sort of deeper friendship when he's first coming up to Jake to talk to him. But after that, I don't know, their exchange does not seem very warm. He kind of just in the book, you kind of feel like he asks Jake to go. He because he trusts him, because he wants Jake to do this, because he knows he can do it. He'll do it because he knows he's a good person. And in the show, it's more like he picked him because he just happened to be there when he came out of the rabbit hole, and I don't know. I can't explain it. I'm trying to explain it exactly. I just, it's something off. I don't. You guys tell me what you guys think about that. So yeah, trying to think of other things here. One thing that I wish they would have kept the same. It's not something I dislike or not something that I like. It's just something I wish they would have kept the same from the book. Is the location of where Harry lived as a kid when he had his accident. Here he's in Holden, Tennessee, whereas in the book he is from Derry, which a lot of Stephen King fans will know is the location for It. And in the book, Jake actually runs into two of the kids from It, and Beverly and Richard Tozer. And I don't know, it just helps. To me, it would have been awesome to see Derry. Probably not for the show. They probably did change the location from Maine to Tennessee, so that we can get Jake across the country from Maine. He's not just hanging around in Maine for 30 days. to wait for Harry. So he does get to Dallas right away. He doesn't hang around in Maine like he did in the book. He gets to Dallas right away. He starts to actually examine and go over the notes that Al gave him pretty quickly, and it was very surprising to see that he bumps into Sadie, who doesn't even appear in the book till later on, way later on, when he's going to be in Texas for a while. But I mean, that's no problem for me as far as him meeting Sadie there. It is a little bit of an ominous location where he meets her, but it's fine. I do hope that we see a lot of the story of when Jake decides to stay in Texas, in Jody, where he will meet some other people, and that's, I mean, at the end of the day, I think even though 11/22/63 is a time travel story, it really has a love story in it that is, and it's one thing that I always say about Stephen King's. The story itself is better than everything else. The sum to the story is better than everything else, because it's more him putting people in a certain situation and how they react to that situation. It's not only just horror information. It's not just the end of the world situations. It's, let's, like, as for example, as in The Stand, it's an end of the world kind of situation. Everybody's dying because of the sickness, but the main heart of that story is the relationships of the characters together and what they decide to do during the leading up to the actual stand. Same thing for the novel Cell, which is actually going to be in the theaters, I believe, this year. It's not only the end of the world situation; it's the characters coming together and what their relationships are, getting to the final destination of the book and the movie. So I really hope we get to see a lot of Jake in that Jody, and we get to see his relationships that he makes while he's there, because it really gets to the point where, does he really want to even come back to the present? He might decide to go ahead and not go along with what he's doing because he doesn't want to mess up what's going to happen. He doesn't want to mess up his relationships that he has in the past, or he doesn't want to leave in the past. And if he goes along with what he's there to do to stop Oswald, he's gonna have to leave everything behind. But yeah, I mean, what do you guys think? Like I said, I actually do like the story. I wish it was. I didn't like it as much as I thought I was gonna like it. But it's more because of because of me reading the book. I've talked to people who didn't read the book and they loved it. They really liked the story. They didn't have the same problems with it that I did. So I think that might be just an issue of me just liking the story so much that the adaptation doesn't live up to it. Even though I'd always try to keep the two pieces of work, the adaptation and the book, separate from each other. But like I said, you guys let me know what you guys think. Did you guys like the story? Did you guys did you all not like it? What did you like about it? What didn't you like about it? Do you have any predictions of what's going to happen? What do you want to see happen? Let me know. You can always find me on the social media websites, as Twitter, Facebook, actually on Snapchat, and on Instagram, and at Perezpective. And just hit me up and let me know what you guys think.